today me and my sister is going to Walmart so we could get some things for my turtle. So for those that don't know, I'm paralyzed because I was set up and shot in a home invasion December 19 of 2019. And so whenever I leave the house, I get pretty paranoid, especially when I hear a knock at the door, because the last time I opened the door when I heard a knock, there was a rifle aiming at me and two men barged in and beat and shot me. And also they didn't just beat and shoot me, they threw me on the bed, was gouging my eyes. And it was just scary to deal with all that, especially getting shot and falling face forward, being paralyzed, and having them hold a gun to my head, begging for my life, saying, don't shoot me, I have a daughter. It was very scary for me, so that's why I don't leave the house. So when people say it's good for me to just leave the house, it can't really be good for me if I get paranoid all the time and get jumpy every time I hear something fall. And then also, like when I'm at my brother's birthday party and balloons pop, it freaks me out and it gives me flashbacks. And what I mean by flashbacks is I get like images and like memories of what happened that day I was shot. And then also when I'm in the hospital and things fall, I freak out. Like when I woke up from my surgery and somebody dropped some boxes, I woke up and I yelled. And one of the nurses was like, are you all right? I'm like, I'm fine. I just got startled. And so that's why my dad has to stay with me at the hospital, because I'm not used to being outside in public. I get very paranoid and I freak out over the littlest things. My sister took me to Wendy's and got us some chicken nuggets, and I'm gonna be trying out this ghost pepper sauce. I don't know if it's hot, but if it is, at least I got it on camera. So this is what the sauce looks like. Let's see. I don't want to be too quick and be like, oh, it's not hot. It does have a little spice to it. It's like a build-up, but it does taste good. It's honestly not that hot, but it does have a little kick to it. I'll try. It is a little hot, but not hot.
I'm not making a face, though. Yes, you are. I'm just coughing.
I'll say it's like hot as like tapatio, so. She's like, I love tapatio. It's not going to be hot in the beginning. It's going to like kick in a bit, but it's honestly not that hot.
Yeah, it's good.
I love it. I love it. The kitty loves the fishy.
I should do a video like going to a haunted mansion or something. That's what you said?
No, Estudio Mansion.
Oh, but yeah, I should though, because since I died, I don't know if like spirits are going to affect me differently. That's what Dad said, because we're watching like a ghost movie and he was saying that since I died, spirits might interact with me more. I don't know.
I see dead people.
Since I was on the other side, so yeah.
Which was your house? What's your destination?
I could only imagine like my wheelchair being dragged and stuff. That's the mansion? Mm-hmm. The scary one?
Some people say like it's haunted, but...
So being out in public is kind of hard for me to relax because I need to be aware of my whole surrounding. So I don't like when people are standing behind me, especially if like I'm waiting in the line, because I get very paranoid when people are behind me. And so for those people that say that it's good for me to leave the house, it's kind of hard to just say that if you didn't live with what I experienced. And not a lot of people understand what it's like to have PTSD, anxiety, depression, and then also have a friend betray you. And that's why I'm making this vlog, to let you guys know what's it like to be a gunshot victim. Because when I was first paralyzed, I went through a lot of depression where I lost a lot of weight and I didn't eat and I just slept all the time. And my dad would be telling me, what are you going to do with your life? And I'll be crying saying, I don't know. Because I don't know how I'm able to live my life being paralyzed and to live with what I just experienced. And so that's why I'm on anxiety and then depression medications, and as you see, I'm more healthier now. And being on medication, it kind of helps me because it allows me to be more open, and it kind of helps when I'm out and about. I don't get too anxious or get a lot of triggers. And so when people say that it's good for me to be out and about, it's like, yeah, I could try to go out to try to like get used to things again. But the thing is, I have no control over my environment and what's going to happen, because sometimes there are people that will just stick their heads out the car and just yell at me, and that freaks me out. So it's very annoying when those little kids be doing that. Anyways, I'll finish off my little story when we get to Walmart. Alright guys, so now I'll be showing you how I transfer from the car to the wheelchair. Just like that. Right now now there's not a lot of people, so I don't think I'll freak out or, you know, or anything like that. So I feel safe, and that's the thing about being a gunshot victim, is to know your surrounding. And if you was to go out, it's good to not have a lot of people around, just in case if you get triggered and get scared. So right now we're looking for some stuff for my turtle. So right now I got pretty tired, so my sister is pushing me, and the reason why I got tired is because one of my wheels on my casters is locked up and it doesn't spin. I'll be showing you my caster wheels and how it doesn't spin when I get back into the car. So yeah, not a lot of people understand what I go through physically.
Paralyzed.
And then also mentally. And what I mean by physically is just being paralyzed, it's just a lot for us and it could get depressing. And then mentally is because I deal with a lot of PTSD, anxiety, and depression because I was set up and shot. And that's why I'm on medications like for depression and anxiety, so I could feel at least kind of normal and somewhat happy. And some other reasons why I don't like to be out and about is because I lost trust in people since I was set up, then also betrayed from a friend that day I was shot. And so I don't want to be out and about in public. I hate when people stare at me, it's embarrassing. So yeah, so last time I went to Walmart and I was trying to leave, there was a guy that tried to cut me off, and that kind of made me paranoid. So my sister had to like tell him to not try to cut me off, and also his girlfriend told him not to as well. And my sister's going to like tell you her side of the story of it.
This is why I prefer this Walmart versus the other one. The other one's a little more worn down, I guess you can say.
Dispirited, denigrated denizens of the Dimmerman that is called the ghetto.
But it's just like, it was during like a high time of like everyone buying like gifts, so people were like all antsy and everything, and they just wanted to rush out from the store. But I didn't appreciate them seeing like, you know, someone who's not capable of like protecting himself like completely, and like trying to take advantage of him and push him out of the way with a shopping cart. It's like, so I had to block him off.
You shall not pass!
And like let Joey get through, because I mean that's completely disrespectful to try to take advantage of someone who can't, like I said, defend themselves.
Paralyzed.
So I'm gonna be showing you guys how I push the cart. Then you just like turn by like moving your wrist. I'm just gonna go around so I can show you. See, you just turn it. It's honestly pretty fun. So yeah, it's all in the wrist. I just finished paying.
How far are you going?
So it's kind of annoying to try to push this around since my wheel is locked. And if you want to know what's it like to have a wheel that's locked, try pushing a shopping cart with the locked wheel 24/7. It's pretty annoying. So now I'll be showing you how I transfer back into the car. My brakes don't work because the guy that replaced my brakes, he stripped the screws, so now I can't adjust them. So it doesn't matter if I lock them or not. So what I do is I put my legs in first, and if you have the little grab bar thing, you could grab onto this and swing yourself in, or you just grab onto here and swing in. I'll be demonstrating like just grab onto here for those that don't have that, so yeah. And it's that simple. It doesn't take me like 10 minutes to transfer into the car. Ew, your booby touched me. It's 100 degrees here in California, so yeah. Feels like 100. I honestly don't even leave the house, and I worked so hard to not get a tan, and I've been working on it for 3 years staying inside the house, so I'm pretty pale compared to my sister. Honestly, when people keep telling me that they rather smoke weed than be on depression and anxiety meds, I feel like they just want to smoke weed just to smoke weed and be cool, honestly, and it's not even worth it. And so when people say, why don't you smoke weed for your pains and then also for your depression, it took me a while to get off of meth, coke, weed, spice, and then also being an alcoholic. It was hard for me to get off of all those stuff, and I wouldn't be making much videos for you guys if I was smoking weed all the time, because it makes me lazy. It's not always good to do drugs, and plus you're only hurting yourself if you're not on medications, because being on depression and anxiety medications, it honestly helped me versus when I was off of it, because while off of it I was really skinny. I was only barely 100 pounds. But anyways, being on depression and anxiety meds, what it feels like is almost like taking Xanax, because it mellows me out and and makes me feel somewhat normal and somewhat happy. And medication, it somewhat helps with my nerve pains and back pain, especially getting shot in the spine with the 45. It feels like somebody kicked me in my back. And some of you guys are probably wondering, well, why don't you see a psych therapist or go to counseling? I'm seeing a psych therapist, and that's the person that prescribed me some of the medications. And I tried counseling, but some of them don't get me, and since I've been paralyzed, I've seen 2 different counselors. So with the counselor that I've seen, he pretty much always puts the blame on me and always makes it feel like it's my fault. And the counselor that I've seen, he told me that he worked with hundreds of patients and he's able to help them, but with me, he says that I'm different and that he cannot help me. And honestly, that kind of hurt me because he pretty much failed me. Then after that, I just stopped talking to him and going through counseling because it doesn't seem like anybody understands me. So that's why I pretty much rely on medications to help me, since it doesn't seem like anybody really understands.
I need someone to be my friend. Someone who won't run away. Maybe send me an angel.
Because how can you help somebody if you never lived a certain life or know what that person is going through? And when I was first paralyzed, I seen this one movie called Beats, and I'll be leaving it in the comments if you want to check it out. I've seen it and I was like, that reminds me of me, because he gets triggered and scared and paranoid over a little noise. He doesn't leave the house like me, which I haven't left the house in about 3 years. So yeah, you could check out that movie to kind of understand like what I kind of go through. And like I mentioned, I'm making this vlog so you can kind of understand what's it like to be a gunshot victim, then also somebody that's paralyzed, because being paralyzed or gunshot victim, either or, we go through a lot of things mentally. Anyways, I'll see you guys at the house when we set up the turtle tank. Real quick, I forgot to show you my caster wheels and how hard it was for me to be wheeling myself around at the store at Walmart with the locked up casters, so I'll be showing you that. This doesn't spin. This one does. It's all rusted. I've been dealing with this for about 6 months. While I'm in the house, I had to wheelie around, so it was just a hassle just with this wheelchair.
Oh, my precious cargo.
It's my turtle. So my sister bought me 5 gold shrimps for my turtle to pretty much try to eat. So this is my full setup. This is where my hermit crab is, and sadly one of them died because after the molting he ended up just dying. But yeah, and then this is my turtle tank. If you like this video, then consider subscribing so you get notified of my next video, such as this TBI and seizure video, where I talk about a little bit more about me and my story. And if you want to know how I'm able to transfer in my wheelchair after a fall, then you click this video right over here.